What's up, YouTube? I am back, which is, I don't know, maybe annoying for all of you, but I don't know. Surprisingly enough, when you go on midterm break for college, you actually have time to put out content. Who would have thought? Anyway, I am here to talk a little bit about cards to watch out for. Coming up with, what is it, New Challengers and then Secrets of Eternity are the next two sets. Three main archetypes we really need to keep an eye on are Zing, Necloth, and how you pronounce this? Qliphort, Qliphort. Whatever. I don't know how you pronounce it, but the fact is you gotta watch out for them. So I'm here to talk about it a little bit. So with the Yang Zing, the idea of Yang Zing is basically just all of their monsters, when they're destroyed by battle or by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, they recruit. They pull somebody out of the deck and put them on the field. Simple as that. And the goal of the deck is basically just to keep doing that until they can make their synchro. And because they synchro with all of the Yang Zing cards, it gets them a bunch of additional support because each Yang Zing creates a different effect for the monsters, so it like gains 500 attack, or can't be affected by trap cards, or isn't affected by spell cards, or something like that. But these can all be made to generically synchro into things. So, thing to be scared of, the deck main skill drain, which is annoying. Well, you'd think wouldn't be as annoying because, you don't have to worry about the effects of the synchros until you remember the fact that one of those monsters, if you synchro with it, the monster's unaffected by trap cards. Which means even though they've got skill drain on the field, that monster isn't affected by skill drain. Which means it's going to dump on your life, which is a problem. So, cards to look out for. First of all, you want to Soul Drain. Soul Drain is huge versus this deck because if you can shut down their ability to recruit, then they can't keep cycling on the field, and they can't really do anything because when it comes down to it, they're just a bunch of little monsters with the exception, I think, one of them. But they can't do much other than just like recruiting, although I think there's one coming out, the new one coming out pulls stuff from the hand, so, if you want to keep in mind your breakthrough skills and what have you, wouldn't hurt. Venus Chain, something like that. Next thing you really want to keep on you is your back row hate, because as we've learned consistently, every deck that doesn't have a bunch of giant monsters inherent to it, so it's composed of like comboing off a bunch of smaller monsters, relies pretty heavily on back row. So, keep your back row hate handy. MST is going to be one you're going to want for the skill drain. Decree, if you're not really running it too much in the way of traps or you're not necessarily relying on traps, you're going to want that. Trap Stun is great just for shutting out their attempted stops on you, and, wiretap is wiretap, so, it's there. So that's those. The last thing I actually wanted to talk about is something, it's an Xyz that I've loved forever, that I think has flown under the radar really hard. Evigishki Marogist. A lot of you are probably like, what the hell is that card? Evigishki Marogist, when you destroy a monster as a result of battle, and it would go to when you destroy a monster as a result of battle, after damage calculation, you can detach one material, and instead of sending that monster to the graveyard, you return the monster back to their deck. Which is really good, because all of their monsters need to hit the grave to get their effects to go off. So if they can't go off, it's pretty nice. Marogist is a rank 4, 2116, so not like terribly hefty, but considering the fact that they're made up of a bunch of smaller monsters, suddenly that 21 is a pretty strong number. And it'll still at least hold you out for 2 turns. So also, I guess, keeping in mind the idea of graveyard lock, you've also got your Dweller, you've got your Macrocosmos, stuff like that. So, Yang Zings. Next one to watch out for is, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about Necklots because I want to save Qliphorts for the last part because they're nuts. Okay, Necklots, for those of you who don't know, are made up of a crap ton of ritual monsters. And these ritual monsters are all based on like old synchros and stuff like that. So Trish, Brio, Gungnir, Clausulus. I'm missing. Oh, Decisive Armor. A couple other things. So, bar the fact that they have all these nuts effects because they're based on those synchros, they also have additionally nuts effects that, you can discard them from hand to do things. So, like search out ritual monsters, protect from spells or traps, stuff like that. It's absolutely just nuts. If the deck gets remotely rolling, you're just screwed. That's it. That's the show. You're just screwed. So, y'all remember this card right here? Mind Drain? Yeah. Once these hit the field, or once the Necklots hit viability, you're going to want 3 of these in your side deck. Mind Drain shuts up any effect that activates in the hand. So all of their rituals, they play like, I think they main deck, what's the count? 10 to like 13 rituals, depending on how hard they want to go. You need to stop that stuff, because if it starts going, you're in trouble. So stop it. Additionally, again, where are you? Macrocosmos, you're going to want it, because if they can't discard to the graveyard, they can't use like all of their searching. So you want to shut that down. Mind Crush. Mind Crush will be really good. They search things out, and then you immediately you're just like, no, none for you. And so yeah, Mind Crush, great card against them. Additionally, along with Macro, Defissure, obviously, another one which might vaguely influence your idea of deck to play, E-Hero or Masked Hero Darklaw. Masked Hero Darklaw. It is a walking Macrocosmos. With, what is it, like 2,500, 2,600 attack? I don't remember off the top of my head. But that deck's going to be nuts. I've seen straight up dark variants. I've seen chaos variants. I've seen... Actually, I saw this morning, I, for some reason, saw a hand trap tricks hero deck, which actually did really well because you have access to so many different heroes, and then you can just, like, mask change. Yeah, it's kind of nuts, but kind of cool. But yeah, made a little bit of an influence for a possible deck to look out for. Anyway, Debunk. You want that Debunk. Debunk is going to be pretty important. Yeah, I heard talk about Mind Crush. I've got this list here I'm going through. Anti-Spell Fragrance. Anti-Spell Fragrance, though. Because it's a ritual-based deck. Honestly, the monsters that they really run are Tour Guide, Jin Releaser of Rituals, which is a pain if you let that get off. Don't let that shit get off. And Manju. And occasionally Gishki Chain. Maybe. But they're not really running that much in a way of actual like floatable monsters. Anti-Spell Fragrance says that that players have to, or I forget if it's both players or your opponent. Either way, you have to set spells before you can play them. And they can't be activated until the next turn. Which means, if they're setting stuff, that you can pick it off. Something to look out for. Another thing, Thunder King. I know it's a one-of, which makes me sad too. But Thunder King is going to be really good against this deck because you can stop all their searching. It can't actually stop the ritual itself, but it will be able to stop them from doing all of their searches. So if you can open up with the classic Thunder King set 5, get wrecked. That's all I'm saying. Rivalry. Rivalry of Warlords. They are all different types. All over the place. All over the place. So, Rivalry says no to that. So if you keep something consistent like Fiends, I don't know, Fiends... that's the main thing I can think of just because of freaking Burning Abyss. But if you're keeping consistent archetype, not so terrible an idea. Anyway, last but not least, this deck dies. Straight up dies to anything that stops special summoning. So, Emptiness, clearly. But I want to talk about this guy right here. Ophion. Ophion says no to anything level 5 or higher being special summoned as long as he's got material. Well, all of their rituals, bar I think Colossalus and is it Unicorn? I think it's Unicorn. They have a Unicorn too, Unicorn as well. None of the rest of them can be special, and everyone knows Ophion's 25-5, which means that anything that's under 5 stars is not getting over this. Plus, you've got your infections and all that crap that protects for it. Something to watch out for. So yeah, Ophion. Now, for the hellhole Qliphorts. I think they're the ones that are going to drop next. Yang Zing are to become potent on next set. Cheers. Yang Zings are going to become potent on next set, and also Qliphort. Qliphort is a pain in the ass. Straight up pain in the ass. They rely a lot on pendulum summoning, especially on their pendulum scales, because Tool is a boss. Straight up a boss. If you let that sit around, you are going to lose, because it's just a search every turn. Like, there's no other way to put it. So how to shut them down, first of all, is spell hate. Straight up spell hate. Anything that will stop back row from being there, use it. So you've got your MSTs, you've got your Twisters, you've got Fairy Wind, Malcat, Spell Shattering Arrow. Shit, man, whatever you have that'll get rid of those pendulums. Double Cyclone, anything like that'll pick them off. Good, use them. Stop that. Other thing is you basically want all of your anti-floodgate cards. So all of your anti-special summoning, your anti-searching. So literally everything I just talked about for Necloths that craps on them for stopping their special summons, same idea. Because I think... let me think about what it is that you... The additional part with them is that you really have to be good about stopping normal summons. Because while all their monsters are like 6, 8, 10 stars, they can be normal summoned and their levels become 4. And they aren't affected by any monsters whose levels are lower than their own. I think that's the way that works. So, you have to be really good about shutting their normals down. So, Warning, Bottomless, literally anything that you can think of to just stop those summons from happening. Wind Blasts, whatever you got to stop that, do it. Just do it. Because most of them, when they're normal summon, they become level 4, but they also have their attacks brought down to 1800 or something like that from 24, 26, 28. So with these guys, it's really critical to stop the spells and stop the normals. And you kind of stop the special summoning in the same light. So, just some things to think about. Anyway, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Those are the 3 major archetypes that I'm concerned about in the next 3 months or so. 4 months. Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you aren't following us on Facebook, find us on Facebook, Yu-Gi-Oh! Underground. Rate, comment, subscribe below. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.